Well, just as one season 3 episode has been shown this week, another one appears for my channel. Shield Hero Season 3 is back, and honestly, I love it. It is quite the season, considering the animation looks 10 times better than last season. I gotta give it that. But let's go over with how this season kind of puts the stakes right off the bat and makes it clear what exactly are we going to deal with, as well as the opening kind of giving us an idea of things. So let's get started. Season 3, Episode 1. We start the episode quite literally where the end kind of goes, with basically Naofumi, Raphtalia, and Filo are in the match in an arena. But then it cuts off to the opening, which, let's be real, the opening is pretty fire. But with one thing, anything that is related to the three heroes, we can assume that it is because of her. Look at that menacing smile. Come on, we obviously know she did something. Anyway, so after the opening, we kind of get back into just a bit of talking about the events from last season and what's coming up, with a new Guardian Beast kind of being a looming threat, as well as the fact that Naofumi wants to make sure that his lands have a lot of defenses. Well, they're more strengthened. As well as another issue that Naofumi, Raphtalia, and Filo took quite a curse hit when they fought Kyle, as the sacrifice aura has put them quite a curse. So they're kind of down a bit of stats, as you may. However, that's pretty not going to stop, considering their levels are 76, 79, and 80. Kind of surprised Philo's higher up, but okay. So obviously we have Naofumi and the Queen kind of just chatting about the issues. So we have 3 pending issues that we're going to have to deal with. The Waves of Catastrophe, that also includes the Guardian Beasts, the missing 3 heroes, and a few nations, the 3 nations to the east, and Fabre lurking around the country. Although the Queen does say that Melremark and the nations are allies, it's only temporary. With other sub-issues, like now that the 4 Heroes Church is involved, there's still some prejudice against demi-humans and against Naofumi, because, it's been the 3 Heroes Church for who knows how long, so those biases aren't going to leave anytime soon. Though seeing Melty and Filo kind of reunite once again after, all the events of Season 2, it's kind of a treat. But we also get an interesting revelation, is that this old man, Trash, is the staff hero. So he's fallen quite low for a hero standards. Then we get just more wholesome things with Naofumi just interacting with other characters. Weapon shop guy, also known as Herard? However you pronounce that. Anyway, not the point. We see nice wholesomeness, him speaking with the slave owner, which, those two speaking is always fun, considering how they kind of just are partners at this point. But during this talk with the slave owner, it does keep an interest about trying to get all of the demi-humans from Lurolona village, Raphtalia's village, prior to being now Naofumi's turf. Basically, a few of the nobles have grabbed some majority of the slaves that the slave owner had and basically sold them out to a specific place. Seltobel. I think that's how you pronounce it. So we have the shield hero and his party basically traveling out to go and get those slaves. What's interesting is just the slave owner's uncle, from the looks of it, looks exactly like him. It is just funny. You'd think that they would question it. You would have the books in first-person perspective of Naofumi probably questioning the hell out of this situation. But this uncle, we'll say uncle slave owner, basically he's showing the auctions and stuff, how certain demi-humans are saying that they're from the Lurolona village, although it's interesting that Raphtalia can call out that this is a lie, with obviously the uncle slave owner saying that, well, since Naofumi's village is now big, has a big name, and well, he's been buying out all the slaves, and he bought out the last remaining ones. His village name is basically so high up that any slave from there, quote unquote, is high value. It's enough to get people's attention, and the brand is just pretty strong. So it's kind of like, what would be the equivalent on our real life here in the United States? Think of it as Purse's Coach brand. That's high tier. Or Nissan for cars. Hell, even fucking Nintendo with their damn brand and their annoyance with copyright. Anyway, not the point. The point is that basically Naofumi's slaves, or the slaves from the Naofumi's village area, is so high that, yeah, they're gonna be quite the price. They're gonna want someone who's willing to pay a high price. As well as the city being basically as you'd expect. If it's merchants and mercenaries, it's a city where money talks. Basically, the rich are the ones that are in command, which is not even a surprise. Continuing on, so Naofumi goes into the underground arena, as he was told by the uncle slave owner. That underground arena, when it comes down to participating, there are no rules. Unlike the main Coliseum that are like fighting for honor, this one, it's all bars. It doesn't fucking matter what you do, you gotta win. So he watches one. One of the fights is genuine. The other one obviously was rigged, fixed, since, you know, they want to make the most money out of it. And if it wasn't fixed, let's be real, this kid would be 10 times dead. Because I can believe this demi-human would kick his ass. But, so we basically go back from where the beginning of the episode now has context. Naofumi and his group are basically disguising themselves to enter, and they make sure they look weak so that way they can get a lot more people's attention, and then kick the ass out of these so-called veteran people, even though they didn't stand a chance. If it's Naofumi involved, they don't stand a chance. But this is basically the biggest steps into what season 3 is going to cover. We still do have to acknowledge that since Malti, or should I say bitch, is missing, we have to assume that she's up to something. Let's be real. Considering, as I said in the opening, her smile says it all. She's up to no good, and the 3 heroes are basically paying the price. But for overall, a very good damn start. I gotta give it that. I had high hopes for season 3 because they're gonna cover some of the best stuff, especially the missing heroes arc. That one's gonna be super fun. But this arc is going to be still super fun as well.